The morning began with a scream that cut through the fog like a blade. Alara dropped the warm loaf from her hands as the sound echoed across the silent street. For a moment she thought the soldiers had returned again. For a moment she thought the kingdom had found another reason to punish her. But when she rushed to the bakery window, she saw something far worse and far more impossible. A dragon was sitting outside her door, not roaring, not attacking, only waiting. Its massive body was curled into the snow like a wounded animal trying to disappear. Blood darkened the white ground beneath it. Its wings were folded tight, as if even moving them would shatter what little strength remained. Its golden eyes lifted toward her with no fire in them, only exhaustion, only loneliness. Alara felt her breath tremble in her chest. Dragons were stories of terror. Dragons were monsters that burned villages and stole children in old tales. Dragons were hunted by kings and feared by peasants, yet this one looked like something the world had already broken. Alara was broken to the town called her cursed. A widow before her life had even begun, her husband dead in the winter plague, her bakery surviving only because no one bothered to take it. She lived above the shop alone, listening to the oven crackle, because it was the only thing that stayed warm for her. No one visited unless they wanted cheap bread. No one looked into her eyes unless they wanted pity or suspicion. So when the dragon came the first time weeks ago, she thought grief had finally made her mad. But it came again and again, every morning at dawn, always outside her bakery, always silent, always waiting. She began leaving fresh bread on the step, and the dragon would take it with a strange, careful gentleness, never touching anything else, never crossing the doorway, like it was afraid the world would strike it if it asked for more. This morning was different. This morning the dragon was bleeding. Alara opened the door before she could stop herself. Cold air rushed over her skin. The dragon lifted its head slowly. Its eyes met hers. There was pain there, and something else, a quiet plea. Alara stepped forward, holding out the loaf with shaking hands. The dragon took it then. Its whole body shuddered violently. Alara saw markings burned into its scales, dark runes wrapped around its chest, like invisible chains. A curse. The dragon flinched away when she reached toward them. Not with anger, with fear, as if touch would hurt her. I will not harm you, Alara whispered. The dragon stared for a long time, then lowered its head again. That night Alara could not sleep. She watched from her window as the dragon lay outside in the snow, breathing like someone trying not to die at sunrise. She brought water. The dragon drank weakly. Its wound was deep, poisoned, and its broken wing hung wrong, as if someone had snapped it and left it to heal without mercy. You have been through hell, Alara whispered. The dragon blinked. Slowly images flickered in her mind without words. Fire Knight's screams, a spear driven beneath scales, chains of magic, a roar of betrayal, then silence. Alara stumbled back, gasping. This dragon was not a monster. It was hunted, abandoned, misunderstood. 3 days later, royal soldiers arrived in the village. Their armor shone like cold judgment. The captain spoke in the square. A dragon has been seen near this town. The king demands its head. Dragons carry curses in their blood. If we do not kill it now, we will all burn later. The villagers nodded quickly. Fear made them eager. Alara stood behind her counter with flour on her hands, feeling her heart sink into ice. That night, she found the dragon barely conscious. They are coming, she whispered. The dragon opened one eye. Let them, I am tired. No, Alara said fiercely. The dragon thought touched her mind like a dying ember. You will die with me. Alara knelt close, pressing her forehead to its scales. Then I will die doing something that matters. For the first time something softened in the dragon's gaze. Hope. The next morning horns sounded. Soldiers marched through the streets. Villagers pointed toward the outskirts. Alara ran into the cold, carrying bread, herbs, water. She found the dragon struggling to rise. Come with me, she said. There is a tunnel outside town. The dragon moved slowly, dragging its broken wing, leaving blood behind. They reached the old mill entrance when a voice cried out, Alara. She froze. Mara, her neighbor, stood there, Holding a lantern behind her, soldiers stepped forward. Alara's blood went cold. Mara's lips curled into a smile of betrayal. I knew it. I knew you were hiding it. Why? Alara whispered. The king pays. Well, Mara replied. The captain raised his sword. Step aside, woman, or be branded traitor. Alara's voice shook. I have been branded my whole life. The sword lifted, and before it could strike, the dragon surged forward, not with fire, with sacrifice. Its massive body slammed between Alara and the blade. Steel pierced deep into its chest. A roar tore through the sky. The dragon collapsed into the snow. Blood poured out fast. Alara screamed and fell beside it. No, stay with me please, the captain laughed. Finally, die beast. He turned toward his men. Burn her bakery. She helped it. Alara looked up in horror. Her world shattered. Mara watched with greed in her eyes. The dragon's thoughts faded. Alara, the bread was never what I wanted. Alara froze, sobbing. What I came because warmth reminded me I was. Once alive you were kind when the world was cruel. The captain lifted his sword again for the final strike. Alara screamed, stop. She slammed her hands against the cursed runes on the dragon's chest. Pain exploded through her body. The curse burned her skin. The captain snarled, stupid woman, but Alara did not pull away. You will not take him. The runes flared black. The air cracked. The curse was not binding the dragon. It was feeding on abandonment, and Alara was offering herself. The captain's sword fell, but before it struck, golden fire erupted, not from the dragon, from Alara. A blaze wrapped around them. Soldiers stumbled back, screaming. The curse shattered like glass. The dragon's eyes snapped open. Full fire, full truth. It rose slowly, towering above them, its wings stretched wide, unbroken. The captain fell trembling. What are you? Alara stood beneath the dragon's shadow, tears streaking her face. I am someone who noticed. The dragon's roar shook the earth, and the soldiers fled. Mara screamed, running into the trees. The dragon did not chase it, lowered its great head to Alara. You freed me with bread and mercy. Alara touched its scales. I did not want you to die alone. Then you will never be alone again. Days later, the bakery stood burned, the village empty. Alara sat on a hill overlooking the ruins. The dragon lay beside her, not as monster, not as weapon, but as companion. Kings would still lie, people would still fear what they did not understand, but something had changed. One broken baker and one cursed dragon had chosen each other. A new legend began, not with fire, but with kindness. Alara leaned into the warmth of its side. Do you still want bread? She whispered. The dragon rumbled softly, almost like laughter. I want warmth. Alara smiled through tears. Then stay. And the dragon stayed, because sometimes the greatest power in this world is not strength, not gold, not fear, but noticing the lonely creature outside your door and choosing compassion anyway.